Welcome to Same Spit, Different Face TV. Well, my opinions is facts, and if you don't like my opinions, you can start your own podcast. And it's free. So don't forget to spit on the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification.
Now, Spit Squad, I reported a couple of days ago about Boston Richey taking his girlfriend's phone out of her hand and slamming it to the ground. Some people may say, man, what's wrong with that? That's called destruction of property, for those of y'all who don't know. Now, we had another situation where the car service ended up calling the police after they said, allegedly calling the police, after it was said by somebody, I believe it was the car service, allegedly, that he was allegedly in the back of the car beating her up for 2 hours. Allegedly, he was doing that, and allegedly that was said by the car service, and that's what prompted the police to be called. Now, since then, she has basically filed a police report, and one thing that happens, man, is when you online, you hear all the chatter, you see all the rumors, and a lot of times people reach out to you. Sometimes it's gonna be genuine people who gonna reach out to you and say, hey, how you feeling? Is everything going okay? Then women gonna have them guys reach out to them who, man, if I was your man, I wouldn't treat you like that. Why you let that nigga treat you like that? You need to go on ahead and get away from him, man. Come with somebody who know how to treat you. But then you're gonna have those genuine people who gonna say, man, if you don't get out of this situation, you might end up dead. If you don't get out of this situation, you might blow your career. You're a pretty girl. You'll be like, so it's gonna be people coming at you from all angles. But the most important thing you need to keep in mind is that you want to be safe. You don't want to be beat on for the decisions you make. And my personal opinion, if your woman ain't doing what you want her to do, you picked the wrong woman. And two, if your woman ain't doing what you want her to do, she not your child. And then three, if your woman ain't doing what you want her to do, you definitely can just get away from her. Let her go. Let her go and be free. I say this to men all the time, man. You can't beat your woman into being freakier. You can't beat your woman into cooking more. You can't beat your woman into not talking back. Nah, bro, just let her go be somewhere where she can be who she want to be. And maybe single is where she gonna end up at for the rest of her life. But it's not on you to try to forcibly change her. Now, when we come into relationships, do we try to make people better? That's a misnomer. You can't make anybody better. But if that person already wants to be better, y'all can talk about certain things that can help make them better. So let's just say if the person you get with them and they always broke, well, maybe you can talk to them about, yo, you know, you go out every weekend. How about you cut your going out to twice a weekend, twice a month instead of every weekend. Okay, you buying lunch every day at work. How about you start making your lunch 2 days a week instead of buying lunch 3 days a week? Boom, now you didn't help make them better, but the key was they wanted to be better at it. You can't change anybody. So all you're gonna do is catch a domestic case, or you're gonna end up hurting them really bad and catch an even worse case, or you gonna have a habit or a history of beating on them. They gonna kill you and nothing is gonna happen about it. And when we look at Boston Richey, man, Boston Richey is in a bad position because he's 28. She's already 19. Boston Richey has an okay rap career. He kind of heated up, but then that interrogation case came out about him when he was talking when he was like 16, and he was saying, he came out and said that he made up names, but 1090 Jake did a video where he said, well, if you made up names, why are all of these people real people? So it's one of those situations. Then another person came out and said, yeah, that was me Boston Richey was talking about, and that person either got scared or paid off, because after a while he changed the tune of his story. I would assume he got scared off, because they say that, you know, some people who know Boston Richey, I'm not saying they around him, I'm not saying they do anything on his behalf, but I've heard they not to be played with. That's just what I've heard. But anyway, when we look at this situation, man, we have to understand that, and I'm talking to the young boys, man, the older guys, man, y'all should know better already. But I mean, Boston Richey, he 28, 29, but he's still a young man mentality wise, you know. He came from the hood, he came from the streets, he came from a bad background. He was given money at a relatively young age after not having any, and everything that he wanted became his. And a lot of that stuff became his because of his status, because of his fame, because of his money. Some of these relationships wasn't genuine, not saying hers wasn't. So a lot of these things, man, when you look at people who have money, a lot of people use their money to control people. And You shouldn't use your money to control people. Now, if you can use your money to help somebody better themselves, you don't let a person use you, but you also don't use that money to control them. That's the best way I think I could say that without making it sound like I'm leaning in one way or the other. I don't think nobody should be using nobody. You shouldn't be using your money to control them, and they shouldn't be using you only for your money. But at the end of the day, the real part of this story is that if you have somebody you have to put your hands on, get away from them. And nobody should be able to make you put your hands on them, because you should have better control of your emotions. And to a woman, if you have a man who feel like he continuously need to put his hands on you, you need to get away from him, because nothing good can come out of that. Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to call a family member, and we all know that two men getting together to fight, ain't nothing good coming out of it 9 out of 10 times, but somebody getting embarrassed, somebody getting killed, somebody going to jail. And I've seen a lot of times where women go get people and that person end up killing somebody. Like we had the story with the football player. He out of Florida, and his girlfriend told her brothers, lied and said that the football player was beating on him, and sent her brothers to the house, and the guy ended up shooting and killing one of the brothers, and he ended up getting self-defense, but he sat in the jail for like a year. It was just a messy story, and then she was able to just go on with her life, because she was like, oh, well, I didn't know he was going to go over there, but she sent text messages that said spray the house up. But a lot of times prosecutors don't want to spend time prosecuting women, because it actually stopped women from coming forward. It actually stopped women from speaking up. But hey, that's just the justice system. So as a man, all you can do is pay attention to the type of women you be around. Pay attention to the type of music they listen to. Pay attention to the type of TV shows they watch. Pay attention to how their friends deal with drama and things. Pay attention to how their mom and dad dealt with each other through their relationship. Pay attention to the type of woman their mama is, because these things are going to tell you a lot about the type of person you will be getting, the type of person that you will be spending your time with. And it's all good when y'all laying down in the dark. It's all good when y'all out, y'all spending money, y'all going to the mall. But it get bad at times. And when it get bad, you need to know that you have a person that's emotionally is stable on both sides. You need to know that you have a person who make rational decisions on both sides. And she also said, yo, he choked me approximately 20 times to the point where I can't breathe. And one thing we know about domestic violence, they take strangulation seriously, because if you cutting off somebody's air, that's attempted murder. If you're new to the channel and want more Boston Richey updates, I need you to hit that subscribe button. Fairplay 2333. This is Same Spit, Different Face Podcast, where my opinions is facts. And if you don't like my opinions, you can start your own podcast. Check out my original Chicago hood movie in the end screen, No Time to Play Fair. If you into sneakers, you a sneakerhead, you love seeing the new Jordans, Pumas, whatever it may be, subscribe to Kicking It with Fairplay 2333. If you're trying to follow me on my basketball journey, my weightlifting and fitness journey, and also be inspired to get back on your fitness journey, subscribe to Fairplay, Flex, and Fadeaway. Also, any of these pages I just named, you can also find them on TikTok or Instagram.